London's hospitality sector is booming as bookings for Christmas parties soar past 2019 levels. Following years blighted by COVID-19 lockdowns and strikes across the British capital, restaurants, pubs, and bars were booking reservations for office parties and dinners 6 months ago in anticipation of a busy season and as a way to incentivize workers. The new Wolseley City restaurant was 70% booked for Christmas parties before its doors opened in early November. The Burley Clubs, a string of members-only institutions that include high-profile Annabelles, were 50% booked for the winter holidays by June, says Chief Operating Officer Eduardo Manuli. The festive spirit is pervading the sector. Fuller's Pub Group said it's seeing a strong Christmas, with an 11% uptick in bookings from 2022, according to an update it issued in November. This is so far going to be the first proper Christmas that companies have had to celebrate Christmas in the city since 2019, said Simon Aneno, and Fuller's chief executive officer. The strong Christmas results thus far come as a relief for the UK's beleaguered industry. The so-called Golden Quarter will probably rescue some venues that were in danger of shutting. Restaurant closures reached a decade-long high in 2023, with insolvencies up 44% in the 12 months ending in September, compared with the same period in 2021-22. According to the Insolvency Service, a government agency, spending in restaurants continued to fall earlier this year, dropping 12% in November compared to November 2022, according to Barclays UK Consumer Spending Report. After COVID restrictions were imposed in 2020 and 2021, last year's celebrations were hampered by a wave of train and tube strikes that prompted cancellations. The industry trade organization has a positive "so fun" in revenue new places, ready to have that basic treasury rule ready and maintained in India. All of its income cumulates, including the landscape and represented in the Washington years. Hospitality businesses rely on revenue made during the busy festive period to see them through the fallow months of January to March. So it's essential that any more strikes during December are avoided, says Kate Nichols, UK Hospitality's chief executive. And despite the threat from this year's strikes, staff in the hospitality sector remain hopeful. This year is set to be one of our busiest Christmases yet, said Charlie Gilkis, founder and director of Inception Group, which runs a series of popular venues across London, including Mr. Fogg's, Cahoots, Bunga Bunga, Bart's, and Control Room D. And for Annabelle's, the fourth quarter has consistently provided substantial revenue. There was a general consensus that it was going to be a catastrophic year, but that quickly changed. Says Burley Club COO Manoli, "We find our private dining rooms are booked every day of the week, and Monday is just as popular as Thursday. It's more about availability, and our members will book whatever is available." And such a demand for parties has been so intense that companies are exploring less traditional options this year. And while Thursdays and Wednesdays continue to be the most popular days to stay an event, interest in other weekdays has grown, as have bookings closer to Christmas. As well as overall, the larger group inquiries have increased year on year, and we have secured events on all weekdays, says Mara Silnick, head of sales and reservations at Sushi Samba. This year, the demand for group bookings and events runs right up to Christmas weekend, as opposed to last year, where the demand subsided the week before. Likewise, Christmas party venues have expanded. Swingers Crazy Golf expects this holiday season to break records. The mini golf chain has pre-booked the highest level of sales for December since it opened in May 2016. Key Christmas dates were fully booked well in advance, according to Jim McKeegan, Swingers brand director. And despite the onset of flexible working schedules, Swingers was booking through the week, a trend that has continued through the holidays. We thought working from home or flexible working may have impacted Friday business, but this hasn't been the case. And we've been able to maximize on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday
in peak trade days, says Keegan.
And still, clouds hang over the industry in the impending new year. The debt burden for London restaurants continues to mount and has surpassed £3 billion, according to London accounting firm UA Hacker Young.
Over the past decade, the report maintains the sector became over-leveraged as chain restaurants borrowed to push expansion.
And for this season, however, operators are hopeful, though many venues still have spots for last-minute revelers. I do find London has a shorter lead than most places. People phone and ask for something this week. It can be very last minute, says Richard Cook, cluster managing director at Brown's Hotel. This year, he says bookings for private rooms and Christmas afternoon teas are up 8% from last year.